Hi, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. I'm Gayatri. I'm an aspiring writer and also an avid reader. I am exploring my writing journey as someone who's working on her debut book, and I'm hoping to publish my book soon. I also have other writing projects. I write blogs from time to time, and here I am capturing my writing and reading journey and everything in between. So I really hope you support my channel by watching this video and commenting your thoughts. Welcome back to another video, and I am going to discuss about Campfire Writing Tool today. We are finally back with a writing tool discussion video. Today I am going to discuss about Campfire Writing Tool. I'll give a disclaimer first. So I'll be seeing some visuals of me trying to use Campfire for the first time, and I also have some screen recordings. So I'm gonna probably put the screen recordings here. So I think I should go a little to the corner so you can see the screen recordings. And before I go into detail about the pros and cons and what I liked and would I use it in future, I will give you a few introduction points. Campfire is a web interface, which is like a writing tool web interface. You can also use it in form of a mobile app. You have that as well. And Campfire offers a variety of features. So you can be a writer in Campfire and write your manuscript there. And you can also find other writers' books published there. So you can be a reader and check out those books, and you can always learn new things in the Campfire tool itself. So there are some blogs. For example, if you want to know more about how to make a map for your fantasy world, you can find articles on that. And there are also how-to articles and tutorial videos for different Campfire features which you might find difficult at first when you're starting to explore. So these are the wide variety of features and so many things that are available as a part of Campfire tool. I'm going to tell it in the beginning itself. Campfire is like a very nuanced, inclusive tool, and I think it is much more suitable for fantasy writers or writers who are writing probably non-linear stories or stories that involve multiple time periods, locations, and so many other things. If your story is complex and you need to have a writing tool where you can capture everything, I think Campfire would be more suitable for you. I don't know about romance or other kind of books you might be writing. I don't know how much it will be suitable for those books, but this is something I noticed. I'm not saying Campfire is not suitable for those things. It's just it has so many features, and most of them you won't be using it. If you're writing a romance book or maybe a contemporary drama, you won't be using it, right? So that's the case. But again, does it mean that I don't have to use Campfire if I'm not writing a fantasy book? No, because I'm going to talk about multiple features, writing tool, which you can use even as a writer who writes romance books, contemporary drama. So what I'm going to do is I will start by listing some of the features I kind of made note of during exploring stage. The first step you should be doing is to log in or sign up for your Campfire account. So once you do that, you will be asked to explore the features. Like I said, you have extensive writing, reading, and learning features inside Campfire. So you're probably going to start with writing, and you'll start with your own manuscript. You can start a new project, giving yourself a book name, and you can add your image if you have something draft designed for it, just to feel it. You can add all those things. So once you add those things, you can actually start with the writing itself. You can add different chapters, give the title for the chapter like chapter 1 or something else. So some people tend to write proper chapter titles. So if that's the case, you can do that as well. About reading, I kind of explored the reading things available first. So I was able to see a lot of different projects, unique writing projects that were published as a part of Campfire. I was able to see character visuals added to the book itself and the map and so many other details. And the feel of reading the book was actually good. So if you're not even a writer, you can check out Campfire just for reading books in there. And the artwork was amazing in most of the books. So I was very impressed with the books that were available for reading. I don't know about the price, whether it's correct or it's pricey. I'm not aware of it because it's not in Indian currency. So I didn't bother to convert the money and all. But I think the works were pretty cool. You can actually see so many authors putting in the hard work. Happy to have explored those things. So coming back to writing, I also noticed that there are options for me to self-publish my book in Campfire itself. So I think like the author's books that were available for me to see, I can actually do the same for my book and get it out there in the platform, kind of like Amazon Kindle ebook process. I'm not sure how it works, but I think that would be similar to that. And for learning, not just articles on different aspects of writing your book, I think there are also interviews with people who are already there in the industry. Video essays on different topics are also available. So it's like complete package for a writer. You can read other person's work, you can write your own project, you can learn about writing, you can see what your peers are saying, you can read interviews and also listen to video essays, and you have blog that will be helpful for your writing itself. If you ask me, I think it's like a complete package of lot of things in a single space, and it was impressive. I mean, I was surprised that I haven't heard about Campfire before. I started to make a list of writing tools I want to explore, and even then I didn't know it was full of so much things inside. I didn't know that. Happy that I chose it for exploring after LaTeX. As far as LaTeX, I'm not saying that I'm not going to compare LaTeX and Campfire at all. So, I mean, like, you as a writer should explore different writing tools and see what is personally suitable for you, right? So I'm going to leave the choice to you. So if you want to go and explore LaTeX, do that, or if you want to try Campfire, do that. And I think it's honestly best for you to choose it yourself. I'm just giving you an idea, bringing forth different writing tools for you. I want you to see that different writing tools are available and how much benefit it has. In Campfire, not everything is free because of course there's a pricing available in Campfire. The thing is, the free account, right? There are some features that are available part of free account. You can have a lifetime subscription, and also there's an option for you to opt out of features that you don't need. Like I said before, if you're a romance author and you don't want to focus on religion or philosophy and so many other things that would be more important for like fantasy writers, like magical system and all, you can opt out of those elements and just select the elements you would need as a writer and pay for that alone. So these kind of options are available. But is the free account really worth it? That is the original question, right? I'm telling you, it's actually worth it. The free account itself, you get a number of options, as in like similar to LaTeX. Here also you have a limitation, as in the number of characters you can add is only this much. Number of location you can add is only this much. Like there are some limitations in Campfire as well. But I think that limitation is quite enough for a beginner, especially consider me. I'm a beginner. I have a fantasy work in progress. I haven't full-fledgedly started to write it. I mean, I'm working on my first book. I don't think I'll get back to the fantasy work for a few more months. I need to finish off the first one, right? The first book. And I'm a beginner. I'm just completely, in the exploration stage of writing my fantasy book. So in the initial stage, I wouldn't require so many features or n number of characters to be added, right? I mean, especially as a pantser, I don't do the outlining immediately. So I build the story as I go, the locations and the characters come up as I go, right? I think it's suitable for me to explore the free account first, and if I really feel the need, I might pay and use the paid account as well. So that's it about the pricing. So now let's see the actual features inside the Campfire. Just 1 minute. While you're writing your book, you can actually set different mode for you to view the work. Customize how your work is visible so that you get the feel. Like people tend to use typewriters, right? Sometimes because of the feel of the actual paper and all, and just for the feels, right? So similarly, in Campfire, you have different modes for you to set up, as in the view mode for you to see how your paper or like how the screen looks when you're typing your chapter. Like you can do that. In Campfire, you have different elements. So each element here is, let's say one of the element is characters. So under characters, each character added would be considered as a separate element under character. And you're adding, let's say 5 main characters. So you're adding those details in under character, and under each character, let's say the first person is Harry Potter. I'm just giving you a reference. The second one is Hermione and the third one is Ron Weasley. Harry Potter will have a separate character page with his own image, his name, the meaning behind his name, his parents. You can add so many details to that particular character page, like the features about a character, you can add it there, kind of like a character sheet. And you can add separate page like that for Hermione Granger and for Ronald Weasley and all that. I mean, like, you can add specific characters and add character sheet kind of thing for each character. So similarly, let's talk about another element. Let's talk about location. So let's say we are going to add a location called Forbidden Forest. So we'll be probably adding description about the location. We might add an image for reference. We might add details about how it is geographically, where it is located, what kind of place it is like a rainforest. Those kind of details we'll be adding, right? Let's say man-made locations like the Ministry of Magic. So you're going to write about Ministry of Magic, right? So you can add an image, you can add the details. And for the location, you have other options as well. So when you're adding a particular location, you can actually add details about the history of the location, when it was founded, who it was founded by, how it was built, like those kind of things also you can add for a location. So I found it very helpful because my fantasy work I'm going to work on next, it's like completely the world I'm creating. I would really appreciate having all these details in a single software where I can always revisit and check. The first work in progress, right? I'm completely doing it in my Google Doc. So I have separate documents, as you already know, and all. And similarly for the fantasy work also, currently the details are all in Google Doc only. So I'm actually excited to use Campfire for the fantasy work in progress. I'm not saying that I haven't used it yet before recording this video. I did use it, but I didn't use it as extensively I would for my personal use. I only used it for the sake of exploring it for the video. So I'm excited to use it in the upcoming days, as in once I'm done with the second draft and once I start with the querying for the debut book, I will start with the fantasy work. So I'm excited to use all these features, especially for my fantasy work in progress. So like I said, you can add your chapters, your characters, your locations. Is that all? No. You can add your map. You can add, if you're using Incarnate to generate a fantasy world map, you can add the map under the element map, and you can add more than one map for your reference. Let's say you have a complete continental outline, but there is a military fort you need a clearer map of. So let's say you have a multiple map, like those who have read Ember in the Ashes would have been familiar with this. So you have different areas of the map, and inside that the Black Skull Academy, I forgot the that academy, you'll have separate map for that academy, right? So similarly, you can add multiple maps for your work in progress. The next one I would like to address is you can add timelines. Yes, you heard it right. Similar to LaTeX, you can add timelines. So let's say your work is non-linear work, or you have a centuries worth of stories for your fantasy world. You can add your timeline with different events. You can add how different events happened over centuries or decades and all. And this timeline is closely linked with calendar, where you add more customization, and calendar is something I really appreciate in Campfire. Another thing is you can add events. These events, you can add the particular date from calendar. Let's say you're using the calendar that everybody uses, as in your story set in current Gregorian calendar, to add the dates from the calendar itself, and you can just go on with it. But what if you have a specific calendar idea for your own world, as in your particular world doesn't match with Gregorian calendar, it doesn't have 12 months, it doesn't have summer in this month or winter in this month, like it doesn't match, right? Or it doesn't have 30 days or 28 days. The cycle itself is very different for you. You can actually create your own calendar. When I started to explore calendar, I was kind of confused at first because I don't know what to do, and I was I felt stuck. So that's when I went to explore the tutorial kind of thing that is already available as a part of the Campfire, and it was pretty much clear, and I kind of felt happy that they have this particular set of tutorials for people who are very new or who are a beginner. So I was clarified with how to customize my calendar, and I actually ended up creating a new calendar with my own set of months, where summer only lasts for 2 months and winter lasts for this many months, like those kind of things I did. I also added holidays and important days in the year I created important days, and like the customization was quick and easy once I watched the tutorial video. I have planned to address the year as a different way and day as a different way in my fantasy work. I would really like to not repeat what's already there in real world, right? So it was super helpful to customize my calendar. So once my calendar was customized, I started adding different events, and whole timeline I was able to see it along different centuries, and I was able to zoom in and spot different events, separate events that I'm adding across the timeline, right? I can still customize it. The event also I can customize it and add more details, as in the event will be a separate element which I can go and add details to. And another thing I forgot to mention about events is you can actually link different events to a same event. Let's say a battle is happening and the battle is causing some government change somewhere else, like 10 days later, and it's causing an assassination of a king in some other country in your world. These three events are linked. You can actually link these events in your timeline, see it, coming together in the timeline. The next thing is you can add arcs and relationships. So let's say you're writing a character who used to be an arrogant, pompous ass, and they are turning into, more considerate and empathetic person over the period of the story. You can actually add the arc for this character. You can add more details and you can customize it. You can add statistics to a character, and using the statistics you can see the arc. Once you add this character and let's say the location map and everything, all these, like I said, a character itself is an element. Under character you'll be adding 5 characters, so each character will be considered as a separate element. So I'm writing a chapter where I'm mentioning the main character 1 and 3 throughout the chapter. Chapter 1, the characters are actually linked to the chapter itself. Similarly, the location, let's say I'm talking about Ministry of Magic, for example. So if I'm mentioning Ministry of Magic in chapter 1, then it's automatically linked to location element of the Ministry of Magic. So similarly, for arc, you can add the character and link the person to the arc, whose arc it is, and you can add the statistics about how they grow or how they change and all, and you can add more details about this character, and it will actually show you an arc over the chapters. Let's say the first few chapters, maybe 1 to 5, that guy is an asshole, and after 5 he's actually realizing something is wrong with him. So 5 to 10 would be realization phase, 10 to 15 would be struggle within their own mind. Like that kind of arc you can actually set it in Campfire, and you can visually see it as well. And another one is setting up relationship between different characters. You have love triangle or love square, which I hate. If you have it, you can use it. Or like a sane writer who doesn't want to write, 1 girl 3 guys or 1 girl 2 girls. If you're like that, I would say that it's very useful when you have huge family trees or bloodlines that are important to your story. You can actually use this relationship element, and the characters in your character elements are getting used here. I'm appreciating Campfire for this feature because I don't have to keep on linking every single thing that are separately organized as characters or maps or location. I don't have to do the linking at all. Campfire does it for me, and how impressive is that? Let's talk about the character attributes. You can add different attributes to a particular character, as in their strength, their weakness, their magical weapon or their choice of weapon, and more features as in like how they look physically and everything, right? So these kind of things will be added as cards inside the character element. Is that the only card? As in, like if I'm going to a location, I'm adding different cards to the location, as in who founded it, the history of the location and all. For characters, I'm adding strength, weakness. So is that only place I can add cards? Not really. You're writing a chapter, you can actually add small notes or cards to that particular chapter, so that you have a author voice on the side of the chapter for you to come back to it and rewrite or whatever. Like it will be like a specific notes for yourself. That is also another one good thing. You have a particular element called research. So in this research element, you can add wide variety of things inside the page. You can add a PDF, you can add image, you can add videos, you can add text or links. It's like your personal wiki page. Like you have multiple character, multiple historical facts, so many things going on. It's very informative for you to manage. You can actually create your own wiki page inside this research element, and it would be super helpful for you to look into it like an overview. There is so many level of customization and so many level of information you can add. Honestly, it can be a little overwhelming in the beginning, because like why are there so many elements? What am I going to do with all this? But if you're someone who's writing extensive fantasy work, or if your world is more complicated, I think it's super useful. And if it's not complicated, it's as simple as that. You can just ignore all the elements that you don't want to use and keep it simple for yourself. Just don't complicate it. You don't have to start a wiki page just because the option for research is there, right? You can simply choose not to do it. You can add only the things that you actually need. Is that all? No. You can add philosophies, religion. You can customize these philosophies and religions. You can add magic system. You can add different magic items that are important to your world. Horcruxes are important, and Gryffindor's sword is important, right? Similarly, you can add your own magic weapons or magic items that are important to your story. You can also add different species that are part of your ecosystem. Also cultures. Let's say in today's world, I'm going to consider myself, I'm a Tamilian, so my culture would be called as Tamil culture, right? It might be similar to other cultures, but that doesn't mean that it's not unique. And there are some things like festivals that are only important to Tamil people. There are a few people who are only famous among Tamils. There are few customs and rituals only Tamil people follow. You can kind of customize the cultures in your fantasy world using cultures option that is available here. And you can also add different species, and you can add species that are already part of our world, or you can create species. And maybe you're adding different dragon species in your fantasy world. You can customize it and add more details, add in the features and how they look. And you can add the geographical origin, like so many things you can do. Language. So that was like impressive as fuck for me. Let's say your fantasy world involves completely new language, as in like in Game of Thrones there is Dothraki, right? Like similar to that, you're creating a new language. You can actually form a glossary inside Campfire and capture all the important words, phrases, and you can add more details about your language. I think I've covered most of the features in Campfire. I might have missed one or two, but what is the verdict on Campfire tool itself? I think it's the perfect tool for a fantasy writer. I am saying that because as a fantasy writer, you have so many information. I don't think Google is going to help you with that at all. You'll have documents on top of documents. You'll keep adding tab after tab. You'll keep adding docs. Like, it's going to be a mess. I'm telling you. I'm not against Google Docs because that's what I've been using up until now. So I am not complaining. Just saying, I don't think that's the way forward. You will get more confused, you will get more complex, you will get more tired, and the time period you're going to spend on writing your book is going to exceed. So a tool like Campfire is obviously useful for fantasy writers. And another pro I observed is, for free account you have so many options. I don't think free accounts on other softwares, not just writing tools in general, I don't think you get a lot of benefits in your free account. But in Campfire you do. And did I talk about the mobile version? You can actually track everything in your mobile as well. You just need to install the app and log in, and you can edit your work in progress in your mobile itself. You can actually use most of the features in mobile. I tried to use the character feature, and also I think I used the research feature. I think all the features that are part of your web interface is actually available as a part of your mobile app as well. I think that is very much handy if you're someone who also likes to use mobile writing tools. That's another pro. And one more thing is, I really like the complexity on one aspect. The thing is, the complexity is actually giving me ideas on what I'm missing in my fantasy book. Let's say I'm actually having cultures as a part of my fantasy book, but if I didn't explore Campfire, I wouldn't have captured it separately in my Google Doc as culture of this particular people, culture of this island. I wouldn't have done it right. When I saw cultures in as a part of the options available, I'm like, yes, okay, culture is important for my work in progress as well. I can probably add the details under this element. That was actually kind of helpful for me. If I'm missing something, I think Campfire will probably be useful for me in that scenario. And the cons would be just two things. One is, it could be really overwhelming because of the sheer number of features you're having. And the another thing is, at one point you're going to feel like I could have used a much less complex tool. Like, if you're someone who doesn't use all the features I mentioned earlier. So other than that, I haven't observed any cons in Campfire as of now. I've only used it for like 2.5 weeks, and I got back to other works after that. What I'm planning to do is, since it offers a free account with so many features, I am thinking to use it for my fantasy work in progress. I have a plan to get back to my fantasy work in progress in a full-fledged mode by the end of this year, and I'll probably be using Campfire for that. If I find anything much more useful in Campfire after using it progressively for my work in progress, I will for sure make another video on that, and I'll keep you informed about all those things, obviously. Here comes the important question. Is Campfire the writing tool you are looking for? Yes. If you're someone who writes fantasy works, or if you're someone who prefers to write works which involve so many detailing, regardless of it being a fantasy or other genre books, I think Campfire is the writing tool you're looking for. With that, I'll end the video, and that's it for now. So I hope you keep supporting, keep following me on Instagram as well, and if you like the content, do like the video and subscribe and share it with your other writing friends who might be looking for writing tools as well. And I hope you enjoyed the content. If you have any other suggestion, do drop it in the comment box. I don't know if I'll be making a video on it immediately, but I might get back to it one day. Live through stories. Bye.